Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the premiere of the My Take on Reality Daily Show. Now, this is a show that I'm going to, I've just started. This is the first episode of hopefully many, many series to come. I want to just set this up so that everybody who is watching can enjoy what we're doing on a daily basis. I'll be cutting up some of the videos, as it were, maybe making smaller videos. So folks can see it. Hey, Miss Fadir, Butterfly, what's good? What's good? Desert Sister, hey, I see you. Sarah, Wendy, give me that one if you guys can see me. If I'm good in the chat, if you can see me, you can hear me. Everything is cool. I'd appreciate that. Let me get my banner up because apparently YouTube doesn't like what I was doing. So we got to show the little overlay. Bow. All right, let me move my camera over a little bit. All kinds of things going on. So today, guys, guess what? I'm very excited. We're going to be talking about not only the P. Diddy foolishness that has recently dropped, where he has denied that he was doing anything wrong. These people have got me wrong. They accuse me of things I'm not doing. They're trying to come after my name, my legacy, everything I'm about. Then all of a sudden, the tape drops. It shows him actually mistreating his then girlfriend. 2 days after that, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that. I apologize to everybody but her, apparently. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go through. We got it all loaded up. I also have a letter that I wanted to talk about, which I think ties directly into this type of situation that I wanted to go through. This is My Take on Reality letter, which you guys can send to MyTakeOnRealityQuestions at gmail.com. If you guys want me to comment on anything that you guys have going on, I will do that. Just send that letter in. We'll throw it into one of the daily shows. Should be a good time. Also, we, for the first time ever in My Take history, we are going to, all right, I see some ones popping. Awesome, awesome. We're going to have you guys come up and give your take. Now, just to be sure that everything is set, ready to go, I just want to be very clear about what I'm doing. Some folks have already kind of pre-warned me, giving me the heads up that this is, I'm walking on a tightrope by doing this, but I trust my community. So I want to open up the floor so you guys can call in, give your comments on some of the topics that we talk about. Now, just to be clear, I have in the description, I have some rules and stuff set up, some rules, some guidelines, some suggestions on how we'll do that. So I want everybody to be ready to give you a take. Now, the simple rules, the rules are very simple. I mean, it's not hard to follow. Rule number one, you want to follow the YouTube user guidelines. Anything that happens on YouTube, we all know what the rules and the policies are. So we don't have to pretend. You don't have to be a creator to understand that there are certain things you can and can't say on YouTube. This is not a freedom of right thing, First Amendment thing. This is a business thing. YouTube runs this platform. Google runs this platform, and they can turn us off anytime they want to for whatever reason they want to, because this is their house. So since we're in somebody else's house, we're going to abide by their rules. Number two, let's be respectful. Now, normally I don't have any issues with anything that's posted in my chat. So that's part of the reason why I was encouraged to think that I could open this up to the floor so you guys can give me a chat. It helps if we're going to be respectful. As I said in the description down below, don't say anything online that you wouldn't say to somebody's face if they were standing within arm's reach of you. Okay, I mean, that's just a general rule. I think it's good practice. Number three, no French. Now, normally I understand that in the nighttime shows, I might go off and go a little bilingual and speak a little French for folks. I get that. But for the daytime show, we got to try to keep it PG. We at least got to be respectful of the fact that this is like daytime television. So let's treat it like daytime TV. And if you wouldn't tune on 3, 6, 10 or ABC, NBC, CBS, or whatever you have at your location and you're watching television, if they don't curse on your TV, then please don't curse on the platform. I'll have to disconnect you. Also, this is a conversation. It's not a debate. Okay, so let's have a conversation. Let's try to understand what each other are talking about and the points that we're making. And we don't have to don't come in trying to prove somebody wrong. Like this isn't that really the forum for that. most importantly, number 5, let's have fun. This is supposed to be a good time. YouTube should be a fun place. It should be a place that you go to relax, not a place that you go to argue with folks. That's what Facebook and Twitter is for. Come on now. Also, how are we going to do it? It's very simple. After I run through everything as far as like the show is concerned, like the platform of the show is concerned, well, like I said, I'm going to run through P. Diddy, the issues with that. I'm going to run through the maybe some like tie-in with reality TV. I have a tie-in person that I wanted to connect to this because technically we're talking about mistreating partners. So I have a person from a reality show that I wanted to talk about in the confines of that conversation. Also, and no, it's not Cody Brown. For those who maybe hear from the Sister Wives crew. And then finally, we're going to talk about a letter that came in, which is the My Take letter, where they come, they write a thing and I see it. Maybe I see it online or maybe I see it somewhere and I'll pull it, or somebody will send me a letter asking a question from me, what my opinion or my thoughts on these situations are. So we'll be doing that. And then after all that's done, I'm going to put a link in the chat box so you guys can go on the chat into the chat room, hit that link. It'll bring you to StreamYard where you guys can come into my studio. And once you're in the studio, I'll be able to see you and I can call you up. Now, the only thing that I ask, particularly because this is like a beta and I don't really have a whole lot of controls on it, is I'm asking that anybody who comes up as a prospective panelist or whatever, that you have your camera active. I can see your face and I can hear your voice. That's the only thing I ask. Once you're inside the studio, I'll be able to send some chats to you and we can find out what you're up to, what's going on, maybe what you're going to, roughly about what you're going to talk about. Then I'll bring you up, be a good time, and then follow those previous rules. Simple as that. Only thing I ask too, try to keep your comments brief, like make your points. I want to hear what your takes are. But I want to try to get in as many people as possible. We're going to run this show maybe a little tighter today just because it's the first one and I don't want to go too crazy. And, be patient and please understand that I might not get to everybody, like depending on how many people come in. Everybody might be a light day, so might have everybody come in, but it also might be a very busy day and we have a whole bunch of people. And if you don't get on this time, try next time. It's cool. We're going to have some fun. Either way, we're going to have fun. So let's get it. Now, I want to drop the, of course, I had to put together a little intro for the show. So I'm going to drop the intro and then we're going to go right into it. All right. Hopefully everybody is ready. I see Lizzie B in the house. Let me see. I'm working like a bunch of stuff at the same time. So I might have to hire a producer. If this goes well, maybe I'll hire a producer. All right, guys. Let's I'm looking for my thing. Okay, here we go. So let's get it, and then we're gonna get it. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? All right, I'm in here jamming, enjoying everything going on. All right, what's oh, okay. Let's see. All right, so James, that thumbnail pic. All right, yeah, right. Thank you so much, Darlene. All right, I'm in the house, and we're gonna get started, guys. Now, there are some things that are gonna be popping up that I want to let the room load up a little bit before we dive into the whole Sean Puffy thing. Now, the one thing that I will say about Puffy to begin with is that he has been around for a long time. Like this guy, he started out with Jive Records, then he kind of got his own thing, got his own deals, and it just started getting a little crazy. Okay, so he took the world by storm. He was everywhere. Like this dude was everywhere. He was dating one of the hottest women in the game at the time when he was the young hot boy J-Lo. That was his lady, and then she broke up with him with some crazy stuff. Audrey Bringinger in the house. I see you. YouTube's my time machine. What's up? What's up? Got some of the OGs in the house. Flying chocolate. I see you. Let's get it. So there's a lot of stuff we could talk about as far as Puffy is concerned. Now, the thing is, I talked about Puffy before, especially when they first raided his house. Like they first went in and he was all over the news. Like they raided a couple of his homes at the same time. They had his kids out there cuffed up. The FBI showed up. The press was there. Everybody, it was a big, huge spectacle. Puffy was nowhere around to be found. It was insane, right? And a lot of people started talking about it. And one of the first things that I started talking about wasn't just the fact that it was Puffy, because we could always go one person, and it seems like that's always what we do. We always focus on the one person who's at the time. So it's me too. We're going to talk about Weinstein, and that's it. Or we'll talk about Bill Cosby, and that's it. And then all of a sudden it's gone, and we pretend like we stopped something. Like the epidemic is over. We found the one guy. We got him, guys. We got him. We got him. It's over. And that's the end of it. So I wanted to, when I first came out with the whole thing and I started talking about Puff Daddy, or I started talking about the Quiet on the Set with Drake Bell, which that whole thing, in my opinion, turned into essentially a PR rehabilitation, image rehabilitation show for Drake Bell, because he got caught up in the same foolishness that he was the victim of. And then everybody pretend like everything was okay. Oh, we've solved all the problems. Now the kids are safe on the sets. No, they're not. The problem that I have is that when we look at these situations and these instances, we have to keep in mind that these people have been around forever. He didn't just start, like Puff Daddy didn't just start this week. He didn't all of a sudden fall off, stop selling records, and all of a sudden, people start coming forward accusing him of stuff. He's been doing this, and people, more importantly, people have known for years that he's been this person, allegedly. We'll throw in allegedly, because we have to be careful. My man is a billionaire. All right. So we'll throw in allegedly. Like I can't prove it. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I'm only going off of what has been reported and what people are saying and what the news reports are and what I've seen on the video, which part of it I'll show like some of the images, but because of YouTube guidelines, I can't show the whole video. It's that bad. Like the video that people have seen, if you go to CNN came out with the video from the hotel, just type in Puff Daddy hotel video, and it will come up. Like you'll be able to watch the whole CNN video. Okay. And you can see the whole thing. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. And you can't tell me that that's the first time that man did that because of the way he did it. That's not a guy who's like a rookie, a sophomore. I've never a wise fool. I've never done this before. Freshman, a novice, a person who is new to the game. This is somebody who's been doing this. This is somebody who is so used to doing this and so accustomed to doing this. He had no problem running down the hallway with a damn towel on and chasing a woman and grabbing up in the hallway elevator bank. So am I supposed to pretend like, oh, I can't believe the first time he ever did? No. He was comfortable doing it. He was comfortable doing it. And as we talk about it, we have to look, let's peel the onion back a little bit. Let's peel the onion back a little bit. One of the people that I called up, like, because I do the tie-ins to the reality shows, because, my take on reality shows, real life reality, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the people that I've kind of looked at before, and a reality person that I was going to tie into this as an instance of us knowing full well and watching on the screen the level of mistreatment, partner mistreatment on the screen. And this person stayed with the show the entire time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Angela Dean, or as Wet Sox crew calls her, the Dirty Bird. Okay, welcome to the Dirty Bird. Now, when I talk about the Dirty Bird, who am I talking about? Angela Dean is a woman who first appeared on 90 Day Fiancé. Now, before she was on 90 Day Fiancé, let's go all the way back. She appeared on Maury Povich. the television show where, you know, who the baby daddy? Oh, it ain't my kid. She was sleeping with everybody else. And apparently, if she sleeps with a whole bunch of people, that counteracts and acts as a spermicide and destroys any possibility that I could be the father. Oh, no. You know, and they had Who the Baby Daddy show is. She was on that show with one of her daughters. And even then, she wanted to be famous. Then the opportunity came for her to be on 90 Day Fiancé, and she started dating a gentleman by the name of Michael, who is from Nigeria. And then when she got hooked up with Michael, she moves in and she starts dating him, and she promises to marry him, and he's a guy from Nigeria, and they go back and forth the whole time. She's smashing cakes in his face and gripping him up and yelling at him and hooping and hollering at him in public and talking down to him, mistreating him, talking crazy to the man. And the whole time, folks, there was somebody standing there with a camera. Not only was there a person standing there with a camera, there were producers who were there. And like it or not, we have to take into account that on these reality shows, that's your job. Your job is the reality show. If you're starring on a reality show, it is a job. And she's at the workplace with supervisors standing there watching her mistreat one of her coworkers. Forget the whole fact that they were engaged. Forget the fact that they were in a relationship. Forget the fact that they were supposed to be dating and a couple. They were at work. They were at work. And what did TLC do? TLC didn't fire her immediately. TLC didn't reprimand her and then come out and say, you know, TLC as a channel, as a station, as a television producer, we admonish her and we abhor her actions. We stand against it and we stand with victims of this type of abuse. Nope. Guess what TLC did? They put her on every episode, every show that they came out with. She's been on 90 Day Fiancé. She's been on before the 90 days a few times. She's been on after the 90 days, happily ever after. She's been on before, after. She's been on the show where they were talking about giving therapy to couples who were having problems. She's been on the show. She is, fair to say, one of the stars of this show. And for those who may be just tuning in, this is the person that I am talking about here. Angela Dean, the Dirty Bird. The Dirty Bird Wet Sox crew. Wet Sox came up with that name. I didn't. Wet Sox. The dude is hilarious. But he came up with the name Dirty Bird. And that's what she is. Like, she's the Dirty Bird from the South. Right? And she came out and everybody watched her do it. She got to a point where she showed up she flies into Africa, Nigeria early. Michael doesn't even know she's in town. She shows up to the man's house, starts banging on the door like a crazy person, hooping and hollering on his porch in the middle of the night, drunk as hell, yelling and screaming. Then when he doesn't open the door, because if some lunatic shows up to your house, don't open the door. Okay, don't go outside. If you're safe in your house, you stay the hell in the house. All the tough guy stuff aside, stay in your house. Don't you go outside for that foolishness. Don't go out to your porch. Hell to the no. You stay in the house. And that's what my man did. He stayed up in the house. And because he stayed in the house, she started tearing his car up, talking about, this is my car. This is my car. I'm his wife. This is my car. She starts tearing his car, ripping stuff off his car, everything. And guess what, y'all? Guess what? The camera crew is still standing there, big old cameras on their shoulders, 3-4 of them, plus the producer standing there watching her do it. Do they call the police? Do they call the authorities? Do they let her know, hey, Angela, this is not acceptable? No, they filmed it. Then they bring Michael. They wrangle Michael, get him to come outside. I guess he feels like he's safe on the set because, you know, you have all the people around and this, that, and other. They're taping it. And then this woman flies up in his face like she's going to do something to him and tries to get physical with him. Then there's several other times where I could go chapter and verse on how many times she's gotten physical with him. But she stays on the show. And this is where it gets pervasive. So when we sit here and watch Puff Daddy and people like Puff Daddy do these things, and people ask, well, how come they were allowed to do it? And why didn't nobody say nothing? How come this was permitted to go on? This is why. In my opinion, this is why. This is what he was accused of. I can't prove that he did anything wrong. This is what the allegations are against him. I'm just saying that in situations like this is why it's permitted to go on, because we see it happening. And so many times, so few people say anything about it. In fact, the only time I've heard that Angela Dean has been released from 90 Day Fiance, TLC released her, not because she was mistreating this man, not because she was putting her hands on this dude. Nope. Nope. She was stalled out because she went to a podcast, like one of my fellow YouTubers or podcasters had her on the show, and she started spilling the tea about future storylines and what was going to happen on TLC. TLC got mad because she spoiled it for them, and they fired her because of that. They didn't fire her because of anything else that was going on. Oh, she's hard to work with. She's not only threatening Michael, she was threatening other co-workers. She was threatening other couples. Nothing ever happened. So that begs the question again. I wanted to do the tie-in from reality shows, because we can talk about reality shows and show how some things that we see on reality TV, oh, it's a waste of time to watch it. There are some things and instances that we can see on reality TV that we can apply to actual life. And that's what we're going to do here. When we talking Daisy Reyes, I see you. I shall talk that thing. So when we talk about that, we're also looking at the fact that we go from Angela, the dirty bird, right, over to other situations. And one of the situations that I wanted to talk about, just as I'm going through it, is actually a letter that I had found. And it kind of talks about some of the instances and issues that, again, I think can be tied to the larger subject matter that we're talking about when we start talking about the allegations against Sean Puffy Combs. All right. And I asked the question earlier, at what point do we stop using nicknames? Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's getting kind of weird for me to call dude Puff Daddy or the Puff Diddler or whatever the case may be. It's getting weird for me to call him that because, do I wait for a conviction before I start calling him by his government name? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we got to, matter of fact, let's put that in a poll. I want to put that in a poll. Let me see. Oops. I want to put that in a poll. When do we stop using nicknames for these folks? Let me know what you guys think in the poll. I'll put it up there, so it should register it now. All right, well, in the poll, and I'll tell people what the results are. All right, so we're talking about like P. Diddy and the big whole thing. Again, allegations. I can't prove nothing. I wasn't there. I didn't see it with my own two eyes, so I can't say for sure what he did or did not happen. I'm merely going off of what has been reported and what I've seen on CNN. Same thing with Angela Dean and Michael. I'm just reporting on what I saw myself on the show, okay? And that behavior was completely inappropriate. Now, there was a person, because again, I'm going to try to do this as a whole thing. And you guys, when I give the opportunity, you guys can comment on any of the stuff that I'm talking about, whether it's Angela Dean, whether it's Puff Daddy, or whether it's this letter. We can comment on all of it. All right. This is the letter that came in. I've done some alterations to the letter just to make it a little more show compliant, because it was a little rough to get through. All right. Just rough, not because of the grammar or anything else, rough because of the subject matter. So I want to be very clear about that. All right. And if this is too sensitive for some folks, I understand. You may have to clock out, because this whole subject matter is a little, could be triggering for some folks. So I want to be mindful of that. And by all means, please, if you are, in fact, dealing with any type of issue like this, please don't hesitate to get help. Please don't hesitate to reach out. In many states, in many communities, they have safe homes, safe harbor homes where you can contact people and get the help you need. Don't be afraid to call the police. Don't be afraid to reach out to authorities if necessary. All right. So I want to make that very clear. The letter, it reads as this. There's a 19-year-old young lady. She has a boyfriend who is 20 years old, and she's asking the question, am I being mistreated? And she didn't use mistreated. She said A, the A-B word. Me and my boyfriend got together near the beginning of this year and have only been together for around 3 months. I've had a couple of boyfriends before him, and they were pretty healthy relationships. None of them ever put their hands on me with harmful intent. Okay. None of them ever put their hands on me with harmful intent. None of them ever got their heads turned or were disloyal. Okay. So they weren't cheaters. They weren't abusive type people. Just ended due to me moving away for university, moving to another town, etc., etc. That's completely normal. As you get older, you will find that happens. Not only with loved ones or lovers, but it will also happen with your friends. Sometimes you just outgrow folks. No shot to them. It's just, it is what it is. Life goes on. But this one, he does, in quotation mark, in parens, kind of asking a question. He has never actually punched her or slapped her, never directly hurt her, but he has done some pretty scary things. It started small. The first thing was a shove, a light shove when I was doing my makeup, which is too damn much already. Stop right there. That's too damn much. A shove? No, you don't shove it nothing. You can take this relationship and shove it, clean up your behind, that keister. It meant almost nothing to me. It should mean everything to you. Like, say a light shove when I was doing my makeup, it meant nothing to me. It should mean everything to you. A man should never put his, I only say a man. Nobody you're in a relationship with should ever put their hands on you in any way other than a loving way. They should never put their hands on you. I don't even play that. I don't play the slap me upside the head. When I was a kid, I never played slap boxing. I never did none of that stuff because I don't like it. I don't like people putting their hands on me all crazy. I don't like that. Not at all. Not at all. And if I feel like you can't even talk to me too crazy, you know what I mean? Like, watch how you talk to me, because I don't do a whole lot of that excitement stuff. Like I'm not a fan of that at all. If I have to be concerned that we gonna get into it, then I'd rather not be there. The easiest way, I've said this before, the easiest way for you to avoid any conflicts or confrontation is for you not to be there when the confrontation happens. That's 100% guaranteed that nothing will happen to you if you're not there. So before it gets started, I go. So yeah, it means a lot. He apologized profusely, which we'll see, and said it wouldn't happen again, which is usually what they say. Oh, this will never happen again. It should never happen the first time. And when it happens the first time, they let you know where they at with it. So that you have to keep your mind on that. It has happened so many times. The worst is in my opinion, was when I was sick. We were arguing. I was sitting up in bed with an ice lolly to soothe my throat. He grabbed it from me, squished it in his hand, and threw it in my face. Oh man, that'd have been the last thing he did without handcuffs on, Jay. You would have been taking a ride with that man. Then a little later, pulled me out of bed and onto the floor because I wasn't listening to him. And she asked the question, baby girl, yes. Is he mistreating you? Yes, he is mistreating you. This is crazy as shit. Crazy as stuff. I said no cursing. All right. James, I said no cursing. Yes, sir. No cursing. I don't want to curse anymore. This is crazy as stuff. I was just trying to go to sleep as I felt sick and didn't want to continue the argument. You have a right to stop arguments if you want to stop. And sometimes the best thing you can do in an argument is to slow it down, because especially as things start to accelerate and they start to get out of control, sometimes you just got to, okay, we need to just go to our separate corners, boxing terminology, I guess, but we go to our separate, break apart, go to our separate spaces, think about what we're going to say, then come back with proper statements, proper diction, proper address to the person that you're talking to. Because if you want to keep this relationship going, you going crazy on me, act like you're going to put your hands on me is a nuke for that relationship. You just nuked the relationship. It's done. So that's where I'm kind of at. He always says that that his reasoning for grabbing my phone, pulling me out of bed, etc., is because I start arguments and never want to continue them. Who the hell are you, bro? Oh, you gonna talk to me no matter what? You gonna have this conversation? No. You get to control what you say. That's the full stop of where you at. You get to control what you say and what you do. I control me, you control you, and we'll work it out. But you don't get to come at me all crazy. No. If I'm done talking, I'm done talking. Man, I got okay. I do see what he means. There's no to understand it. I bring up something that bothers me, and then I get scared when it gets heated. Stop right there. If you're getting scared, if you're too afraid to bring something up to the person that you're dealing with, you shouldn't be dealing with them. Let me say that one more again. If you are too afraid to approach any subject matter, especially issues and concerns that you have regarding your relationship to the other person that you are in the relationship with, you're too scared to do that, then that should be a relationship that you start thinking about reconsidering whether you should be in that relationship or not. You should never be too afraid to bring up issues or concerns that you have about something you're participating in. Just my two. I realize the reassurance I will get at the end of it isn't worth the feeling afraid to get hurt or pouring my heart out to someone who later will make fun of me with his friends. In parens, I've seen messages of this happening, and now whenever I open it up, I feel so stupid. I struggle through it to communicate for the sake of saving the relationship. I love him. I don't want to start fresh. He is the only thing that makes this town feel like home. Can you blame me? Stop it. Stop it. Home is not a place where you're afraid to go. Home is a place of peace. This is what my mother has always told me when I was a kid. My mom was very serious about that. Home is not, you should never be afraid to go home. Home is your fortress of solitude. Home is a place you go to recharge your battery. Home is a place that when you're done battling the world and fighting and clawing in the world as the world is, because the world is unfair, unjust, evil in some ways. You can find some good, you can find some bad, but the world is the world. That's when you go do battle. But when you come home, you should be able to lock your door, hang up your armor, and find respite and peace where you lay. You should always find peace where you lay. And if you can't find peace of mind where you lay, then you need to peace out. Because some people won't find peace until they get to the grave. And that's too dang on late. You should not have to rest in peace to find peace. You should be able to go home and find your peace. And if you're too afraid to have confrontation, or you say the wrong thing, and this person is going to act like a turd booty jackhead. I'm trying so hard, y'all. I apologize. It's my first show. You're trying so hard to not, be that person because you don't want to get this reaction. Then that's not a home place. That's not a place you can find rest, because you're still working. You're still battling in that place. And that's not fair to you. It's not fair to them. As far as you feeling stupid because you struggle to communicate, because if you say something, you're going to run back and tell his friends, guess what? Young miss, I have to tell you that you are dating a child. You're dating a child. If this dude can't have a discussion with you and feel confident in things that he's saying to you and his point of view that he's expressing to you, and he needs to run back and giggle and sniggle with his little buddies and his little cronies, they get together and she said, and they do all that stuff. You're dating a child. Go get yourself a full-grown ass man. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. You need a prescription for a full-grown man. Okay, dump this child. Tricks is for kids. And when you playing childish games, it's time to put them childish things away when you start to enter into something as serious as adult-like relationships. So this ain't kid stuff. All right. She goes on later to describe him downloading Tinder, but didn't follow up with the affair. So he gives a bunch of excuses as to why that's not a bad thing that he downloaded Tinder. In conclusion, what she says is, but I don't want to leave him. I'm newly estranged. I have almost no friends left because I spent all my time with him, and I'm just overall really down mentally. I also fear that because of the Tinder situation, he will move on really quickly and forget all about me. So you want to let him go. Let him go. And forget all the fear of him making fun of you behind your back. To hell with it. Don't care what, there's an old saying, Giants don't don't care. Giants don't care what ants think. Like, don't sit there and argue with them. Bees don't argue with flies. Then honey is sweeter than poop. All right. Don't care if he's a small-minded person and he's in that position, don't care what he thinks, don't care what his friends think, and the people that he associates with, to hell with him. I know he will talk about me in a horrible way with his girl best friend, as I've seen these things happen before. I'm terrified because I do love him a lot. I'm quite attached by this point. I don't want to break up because I'm scared of all the horrible things he will say to people. People I will never be able to explain my side of the story to. People see pictures of me and think, what a witch. And then use the B. What an overbearing, exhausting bee. He knows so much about me. He knows about my childhood, my entire estrangement process, my family problems, my medical issues. I trusted him. I still trust him. I don't know why you still trust him. And this is one of the conflicts that I have with and part of the reason why I picked this letter to talk about in connection to what I was saying, or I'm going to say, about the bigger issue of the P. Diddler and accusations surrounding him, is that one of the big things that people always say is, I don't understand why they stick around in these situations. I don't understand why they stay there. I don't understand why this continues to happen. Why didn't they just leave? Okay. And what this person is providing is the reason as to why some people don't leave. The fear that, of what other people are going to think, the fear of what other positions people are going to have. What is that person that you're in a relationship? What are they going to say about you when you go? Right. And these are some of the things that you're concerned about. But here's the other issue that I have. Let me put my thing back up there. It keeps disappearing. I got to figure a way to get that up. Keep that up. But here's the thing. You can look at what it is they're saying. You can listen to what it is they're talking about. But let's learn from what these people mention. Because if you notice, one of the things she talked about was, she said that, she didn't have any friends. Her friends were his friends. One of the key things that happens in some of these situations is isolation. They get you away from people who are going to tell you that there's something wrong with the way this person is treating you. There's something wrong with the way that this is happening. And they try to get you to hang around people who normalize bad behavior. In this particular case, the people that he would talk to and tell these stories to, if I was his friend and he came and we were sitting around the bar or whatever, we were, toasting to the good life, and he brought up a story about how his girlfriend had said X, Y, and Z. I've had the conversations with friends of mine because I'm not very shy with my thoughts, opinions, and all that, my comments. I would tell them that, okay, what did she do wrong? Oh, man, she gonna get on my nerves because I had Tinder on my phone and she found it, and then she gonna come at me sideways like I'm doing something wrong, son. I didn't even meet up with her. Bro, your first mistake was, why did you have Tinder on your phone in the first place? When she opened up your phone, why did she see a Tinder account on your phone? Tinder is for single people. Tinder is for people who are looking for people. Tinder is not for people who are in committed relationships. So my question to you is, bro, forget what she's saying to you and why she's coming down on you. Let's address the whole issue as to why you had it on your phone in the first place. It will start there. Oh, no, you don't understand, man. She's getting on my nerves. She's coming at me all crazy. She's saying a bunch of stuff out of her neck, and I don't like the way she's talking to me. So, okay, I get that. But how would you feel if you opened up her phone and found a Tinder account? Would you give a damn whether she met up with Slim Charles? Would you care if she was getting, cranked out? Would you care? Would that be the thing that bothers you, or would you be concerned at the simple fact that she had the audacity to download Tinder and she's in a relationship with you? I'm just asking you. Now, if you can explain that to me as to why it would be okay for her to do it, then we can go on to why she's complaining to you and how she's being overbearing. Now, here's my other part of it. If you do see things that you don't like, and this is kind of an aside, if you do see things that you don't like, you always have to ask the question before you start looking, what are you going to do if you see something you don't like? You should already have your plan laid out. In my opinion, you should already know what the hell you're going to do. Right? Things go sideways. What am I going to do? I want to pop this out real quick so I can see what you guys are saying. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I poorly edited that question. That question was jacked up. So the question was, when do we stop using nicknames for these folks? So I guess people started saying, yes, meaning we should stop using nicknames for these people. 71% saying, yeah, we should stop using the nicknames. Go ahead, get your answers in. If you haven't answered yet, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead, hit that like button. Share content. Also, subscribe. Don't forget to do all that good YouTube stuff. So, okay, Ms. Fader. Yeah, likes the daytime show. Comments. Let me get my comments up. I can't see the comments. Okay, here we go. Kathy Ferran in the house. See you. Lynn Skinner in the house. And so when we start talking about it again, like, how does this tie into Puff Diddy? This ties into Puff Diddy because I want to establish that it's not just this instance or just this situation. As many of you know, like many of you could probably tell me better from either experience with this type of situation or people that you know or people that you've helped through these types of situations. Everybody has that experience. Story time. That's something I do every now and again when I do my lives. A little story time about my personal life. I've known people who've been in this situation, and one of the most saddest situations, I won't say one of the most saddest situations because I've known some terrible, terrible situations, but a sad situation that I've encountered was actually when I was, I knew a person tangentially, like, we would see each other at a club or whatever, and I knew her and we were cool, we were friendly, everything was everything. Lovely person, lovely young lady, beautiful, a mother of 4 children at the time. Her husband, met him, seemed like a really nice guy. She seemed like she was in love with him and everything was great. He had her living the whole trad life experience where, traditional wife, where she was at home. She was a stay-at-home mom taking care of the kids. His job was good enough to where they lived really well. And they were together for years. Like all the kids, they got together. She was a dancer. She stopped dancing to be with him, like not dancers and like swinging on poles dancing, poles and tassels. I'm talking about like ballet and dancers, like on stage dancing. I guess they're on stage too. So after a while, they broke up, right? And this is after years of them being together. I knew them for a few years. Never been to their house. We were never that close, but we were close enough to I knew her. And I can't tell you how bad I felt when she came out and she revealed that she was staying at a women's shelter with her kids because things had got so out of hand. Things got so crazy, she had to leave her house, her home with her kids in the middle of the night and go stay at a shelter. You know, and she was asking for help. And that, I was like, what the hell? Because I like to think that I'm a good judge of character, but it just goes to show you that people could be going through things that you just don't know what they're going through, which is part of the reason why I like the way that the chat runs, particularly in my group, that we're not cruel to one another, because you don't know what people are going through. Like if you would have asked most people, and I've heard people say, she's so lucky. She's so lucky. She doesn't have to work or do nothing. She just takes care of her kids. She's driving around in a really nice car. She had luxury cars or whatever. You know, he lets her do anything she wants to do. He supports her. Oh, he's so handsome. He's successful. Girl, she hit the lottery. They used to say that all the time about her. I knew women who were jealous of her situation. Jealous. Oh, they used to talk crap about her. You know, she's so pretty. She thinks she has everything. And here she is going to the place that she called home. It wasn't home, as I mentioned earlier. It wasn't home. And she's getting torn to pieces. She's in a straight combat at the house, at the crib. And nobody knew it. Nobody knew it. Well, at least I say nobody. I didn't know. And that bothered me. And that's one of the things that we have to deal with is we talk about these situations. And this is why it's very difficult, if not impossible, for us to make judgment calls on whether people should stay, they should leave, what their reasons are, why are they staying, why are they going. In some situations, you know, as I will be doing a show on a couple shows. I'll be doing one on trad wives. I'll be doing one on the modern women. I'll be doing one on the what they call the modern women. Ridiculous. And I'll be doing one on the red pill guys and how they all kind of link together. So it'll be 3 distinct shows, but they all kind of link together. And as we talk about that, one of the issues that occurs in trad wives, to give a little preview, one of the issues that occurs with the traditional wives, where you have ladies who choose to stay at home, not that it's a bad thing, but with the movement of trad wives, the bad thing about it is that they express that these ladies stay at home and everything is great and everything is wonderful when they stay at home, but they don't look at the fact that if the guy does make a ton of money and he is working and he's building his career, and the whole time that he's at home, he has her at home, he had this young lady at home, he's out building his career, he's getting money, and he's building himself up. And she doesn't have work experience. She spent, I think they were together for 13 years. So over the course of 13 years, he was doing gangbusters in corporate America, making crazy money. And she wasn't. And then when it came time for divorce, he could literally threaten her with custody, because we always make the assumption that in these situations, oh, the woman will always get custody. The man is always going to go in and he's never going to get custody. In a situation where you have 2 parents, unless you can prove that one of the parents or the other parents is bad or a danger to the child, they kind of both start off a little even, and you know, mother gets a little bit of, you know, little juice. But if the father can establish that the mom can't take care of herself, she doesn't have the facility or the income to be able to provide for herself, and I can provide not only for the children, but I can provide a better lifestyle for the children, there's a possibility that the father could get custody. And he will be sure, and there's a trad wife story that I want to share with you guys where that happened to a young lady, and the guy basically told her, like, you can leave, but if you leave, you leaving without the kids. So she, at that point, she has to make a decision, because he has the money. He has the attorneys. She doesn't have the finances to be able to get to the attorneys. You can say, well, you can use some of the family money to get to the attorneys. Not that money's hidden. And these divorce lawyers, they don't work on they don't work on that. I don't get paid if you lose stuff. So we have to be mindful of that. There's a lot of crazy things that happen with that. So with all that being said, there's a lot of reasons as to why people don't leave these situations. Now, let's talk a little bit about the diddler. Okay, and then once we finish the diddler, which is kind of the creme de la creme of why some of you have come in, when we finish with the diddler, then I'll open it up for the floor. So get your cameras and stuff ready. Was this? Here's an excellent point from Vicky Tasma. Hopefully I got your name correct. Sometimes family turn their backs on you, saying that it isn't that bad. You didn't have to go to the hospital. Makes you feel like you are blowing things out of proportion. And that is an excellent point. That's an excellent point, because you will have, in some cases, thank you very much, Vicky. In some cases, you will have people who will discourage you from telling. Because if you tell, you're messing the family up. You tell, you're ruining this guy's career. You tell, then you're bringing in a situation where he might lose his job, and it could affect you negatively. So you want to keep it quiet because you not only want to protect him, but you want to protect your family. You want to protect your kids. You want to protect your own lifestyle. So maybe I don't go. Maybe when I go to the hospital, I just tell them I fell down, I got mugged, or something else happened. I won't tell them what really happened, because the offender is actually sitting right there in the emergency room, rubbing his hands. That's the offender. So we always have to keep that in mind. Not to mention that there is pressure from the people who are the ones doing it, as this young lady had talked about in her letter. There's always the apology state, because what's the cycle of mistreatment? Is the attention, kind of the cool area where everything is fine. Then there's tension. Then all of a sudden there's the explosion. Then there's the apology and the reconciliation. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it'll never happen again. I never meant to do this. I don't know what happened. I'm under so much pressure. I got so many things going on. It's not me. This isn't how I normally act. This isn't who I am, etc., etc., etc. Things calm down. There's a calm period. Then there's the tension. Then there's the explosion. Wash, rinse, repeat. And it's the problem that a lot of folks have. And this isn't just this isn't just mistreatment. This is sometimes affairs, etc., etc. The problem that a lot of people have is that you hold on to the memories of how this person was and how they treated you and how they made you feel. It's not how they're treating you now or what's going on today. It's how they used to treat you yesterday, how they used to talk to you yesterday. 3 years ago, we had the most beautiful relationship. He was the most kindest man, the most thoughtful person ever. But now he's a tyrant. And I'm hoping that he can go back to being the person that he was. And this is where I've said, countless times before you get into these relationships and on a constant basis, you have to get to know yourself. You have to learn your wants, your desires, things that you want for you. You have to be honest with yourself. And once you're honest with yourself, it gives you the freedom and the opportunity to be honest with other people. When you're honest with other people, you can also be honest about your situations with these other folks. Not just where you are or where it was, but where you are. And what's going on, not what you want to have happen, not what you wish would have happen, what the person you want them to be, but you can actually see them for who they are, which is critical. And I think that that's part of the problem. You're always kind of hoping that this person will one day live up to the expectations that you have set for them. And unfortunately, in some situations, like the situation we're about to discuss, people don't live up to that expectation. Oh, here goes somebody been reading I won't say my books, but the books. Miss BR Girl 09. Yes, James, is called Euphoric Recall. Remembering the good times. Addicts do it. Remembering the fun. Euphoric Recall. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that's the whole point. And it's easy to get lost in it. And this is where I'm saying, like, we have to have a level of understanding, not just, we try to understand. I think that especially in our society, the weird thing about our society is we try to understand the offenders. more than we understand the people who are victimized, which is weird to me. Like, we try to understand why serial killers do what they do, but we don't want to understand how people fell into the traps of these particular people. So they, books and books and books have been written about Gary Heignick or Jeffrey Dahmer, but name 3 of their victims. You know what I mean? John Wayne Gacy. I can rip off my head like Jack the Ripper. I can name all the people. Jack the Ripper, most famous serial killer in history. Who are 3 of his victims? How many victims did he have? We'll start there. You know what I mean? And most people couldn't tell you because we get so wrapped up in this person is that person and why this person does that. I don't, at some point, it's kind of like I said before, if I'm standing in a bathroom and I'm going to the bathroom, a guy comes in and I'm standing at the urinal, a guy faces me, takes it out and start peeing on my leg. I'm not trying to figure out why he's doing it. I don't care why he's doing it. I want it to stop and I'm getting out of the way. I'm getting out of there. I'm not going to stand there and try to figure out why he's doing what he's doing. And with some of these situations, we have to get to that mindset that, I don't give a damn why Diddy's doing what Diddy's accused of doing, why he's doing it, or why he may have done it, or what the situation is. It'd be nice to understand, I'll sit there and have a conversation with him. But when it comes to people who might find themselves in a situation, it don't matter. Get yourself to a safe spot. Let's see. So we're gonna jump in the Diddler. This P. Diddler, Mr. got a FBI, Mr. FBI investigations. Before I do that though, because then after I do that, I'm gonna go right into your takes and your comments. But before I do that, I wanted to give a quick update on the poll, and I'm gonna close the poll down. When do we stop using nicknames for these folks, or do we stop using nicknames for these folks? 74% of you said, yeah, stop using them daggone nicknames. He's too far past that. Some of you said no, 26%. Okay, thank you for your valuable input. I appreciate that in that poll. All right. Some of you guys are funny. I'm reading some of the chats or whatever. Excuse me. But let's take a look at what we have. Yeah. All right. So for those who may not know, the Puff Daddy, Mac Daddy of them all, he had an opportunity where he was accused. Now keep in mind, and I want to be fair about this. It's been rumored for years that he's been misbehaving, that he's been quite the tyrant, if you will. Very hard to be in relationships with, very difficult, violent outbursts, etc., etc. But it's always kind of stayed in the area of rumor, innuendo, people telling stories here and there and talking about it from that regard. But recently, and this is very recent, I think it was back in November, his ex-girlfriend Cassie came forward and she filed a lawsuit saying that he had mistreated her. And during that lawsuit, of course, he denied it and said, no, this absolutely isn't true. She's trying to come after me because I'm worth billions of dollars and she's just trying to get money. It's a big, huge money grab. And even recently, there was a point where Puff Daddy had released a statement on his Instagram where he said enough is enough. And this is actually something that I pulled from CNN, but it's still on. The crazy part is this letter that he wrote, this statement that he wrote, is still to this day, like I got it off Instagram today. It's still on his Instagram today. His denial that anything is going on. This isn't going on. These people trying to use me for my money. That's what happens, guys. You know what it's like when you're a rich guy. People gonna come after you because they trying to get rich off of you and off of your hard work and your labor. They trying to make money off your name because that's how it is when you're a rich, famous guy. Everybody does this. So let's take a listen, and I'll play the part of what CNN had released, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
In a December 2023 statement, Combs responded to the claims in all the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged.
I did not do any of the things that have been alleged. I have to look out for my legacy. I have to look out for my name, my honor. And he does that whole like offended, person. And there were people in his comment section. You right, Puff Daddy. You right, P. Diddy. Sean, you're excellent. You're the greatest person ever, and they're going to come after you. The devil is a lie. And people wrote all that stuff in his Instagram in support of him. Right? And then lo and behold, recently, CNN got their hands on a video. All right. Now I've edited this video from CNN. I've edited it because I can't show it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so ridiculous. I can't even show it on YouTube. Because if I show it on YouTube, I will be instantly deleted. I will be canceled. And when I say canceled, YouTube will say, James, you can no longer host the show on YouTube because this video is that bad. It's that bad. And some people will look at it and be like, it's not that bad. It's bad. It is bad because unless you are a wrestler, unless you're in the WWE and they're shooting like one of them fake script things, where you got like a Macho Man and Elizabeth. Oh yeah, Elizabeth, and the Hulk Hogan. Like it'd be like even then it would be ridiculous what he did. But let's take a look at what was shown on CNN real quick. This is them, her walking down. Now this is after. Before I show this, I want to put it in context. This is after he has already, done things to her in the room. He got, according to reports, the allegation is he was sitting there, got lit up. Then he put his hands on her, black to eye. He went, took a shower, laid down, went to sleep. And she waited until he went to sleep, until she got her stuff together, and she went to leave the hotel room. And this is what happened. She's walking down the hallway. You see her leaving. And here he comes running down the hallway wearing a damn towel, right? And this is the part that I had to cut it, where he does what he does. He ragdolls this girl. Okay, he grips her up and throws her around. I swear, look. I don't even like talking crazy. I don't like talking crazy. But when I saw that, I was like, if I ever saw somebody do that to my child, shit, y'all about to make me speak French. You know what I mean? Just thinking about it. If I ever, just even thinking about it, hell, if I was standing there and I saw that with somebody else's child, I'd lose my mind. Because that's ridiculous. That is stone ridiculous. And this is where I wanted to make the point, and it was so important for me to talk about leaving, because that's always what people say. That's always one of the questions that kind of bounce around. Why didn't she ever leave? This was going on. Why didn't she stay so long? You saw what happened when she decided to leave. She packed her stuff. Something happened in the room, according to her, according to statements. She packed her stuff. And she tried to walk out of the room. She tried to leave. She tried to leave the situation, leave him, leave the whole situation. I'm done. I'm tired. This ain't going to happen to me no more. She walks out the room. She walks down the hallway. She goes to get on the elevator in a public place. And here he comes ripping around the corner wearing a damn towel. Wearing a towel. Holding his towel up, running down the hallway. And he grips her up, and then later, like, he shoves her in the corner, and then he's sitting there yelling and screaming at her, sitting in a chair. She's standing there huddled up in the corner. He's picking up vases and stuff, throwing it at her. And this is what I'm seeing. This isn't alleged. Let's be very clear. This isn't alleged because I watched it on the video footage. So this is an alleged incident. This is what happened. This is what happened. We know this is what happened. There's no alleged in this. It's alleged that they had a dispute before in the room, but what happened in the hallway is what happened in the dang on hallway. We saw that. And when that happened, there are going to be people, well, she should have left early. She stayed because of the money. She stayed because of the fame. Sometimes you stay because you're afraid to leave. Let's keep it all the way a stack. You're scared to go. You're afraid that if you walk out that door, what happens when this man turns his corner? And you have a situation like Puff Daddy. We're sitting in a room. We're sitting in a place where, people will say things and they'll do things and they'll say, oh, you should have left. You should have this or you should have that. It's easy to coulda, woulda, shoulda when you're sitting on your couch in your house. When you're not living with this person, you're not dealing with them. When you are in a situation like they're in, especially, I've said before, and I've said at the beginning of this, and we're kind of rounding out. I've said at the beginning of this that when Puff Daddy came out and he did all this in that hallway, it's my contention, my belief. I can't prove it. I don't have evidence to show or demonstrate it. Nothing has been released yet that he has a history of this. But just from my experience, if he does this now like this, if this is how it happened and went down on that day, this wasn't his first time doing it. And I'd be willing to bet if you go back years, because this kind of thing has been floating around, and this is the kind of stuff that he's been doing, and you go back years, you say, well, if this has been what's happening for years, how come nobody said anything before? The reason why I think that he was protected now, and even if he was doing it before, is because he's not making money like he was before. He's not making people money. People aren't tied to him like they were tied to him before. Now, granted, he does have money coming into different companies and corporations and things, but he's not the person who, he's a part of it, but he's not the person who's the driver, the main driver of that income, like he was back, early 2000s when he was messing around with J-Lo. He had some of the hottest groups in the industry at the time. He had contracts with some of the biggest record companies in the industry at the time. And because he was making that money and because he had that influence, he wielded that influence. And in my mind and in my opinion, you could use that influence to set situations up to where you do things and people are afraid to come after you. Because they're not only talking about, oh, if I go after him, then it's my word against him, but it's my word against him, my word against this record company, that record company, most of the industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When Weinstein was doing what Weinstein was doing, and you had those actresses saying, no, I'm not doing it. How many of those actresses lost their ability to have a career? People will sit and talk all day about, oh, it's not fair, and oh, they treated them wrong, and he did the wrong thing, and no, it was terrible, and blah, blah, blah. But how many of those actresses that came out and actually got him prosecuted actually have careers today? How many of them are on the billboard? How many of them are sitting on top of, nominated for an Oscar, stand on the Oscar stage? Yeah, we'll sit there and talk about them and celebrate them when they come out and drop dime and they tell on them, but we don't support them. We don't back them up. Many of them will get blackballed. As soon as they come out and they tell on like a Weinstein or they tell on a Puffy or somebody of that stature, not saying necessarily these particular individuals, but they say something about somebody of that stature, then all of a sudden you become radioactive in the industry. There are women and people who have worked for companies and have come out and said that this person or that person has done X, Y, and Z. They've harassed me in this way or that way. And the person who they accuse, maybe in some cases they're disciplined, maybe in some cases they're not. They're moved or whatever the case may be. They're fired, whatever. But check their progression in that company after they come out and drop down. Check their promotions. Check their raises. Because that's also what's going into whether you tell or whether you share your story or not in some cases. So we have to be able to build in these types of protections that where if people do come out and they take the chance and they tell these stories, in some cases they should be raised as heroes, heralded as heroes, not cast aside as, wow, that's terrible what happened to you. Now, excuse me, get out the way. You can go sit on the bench and we won't discuss you anymore. We'll just pretend like we won't keep you around because we don't want to be reminded that this kind of thing can happen. And that's what I feel like. There are cases, where people who play on sports teams, they get hurt, and the people that they were best friends with all the time, like, oh, you're my best friend, my ride or die, blah, blah, blah. They get hurt, they go down with a knee injury, they sit in the hospital by themselves because their teammates won't come visit them. Why? Oh, they don't want to see their teammate like that. No, they don't want to come and see their teammate because it becomes too real that they also are in jeopardy of being hurt. In some cases where people are being mistreated or taken advantage of in this type of way, these physical ways, and I'm sorry I have to say it this way. It bothers me that I have to say it this way. But when people are mistreated in these situations, some folks will block them out or stop talking to them because they don't want to face the fact that, one, they were around when it was happening. They didn't know, they didn't do anything about it. Two, they could find themselves in a similar situation and they don't want to admit that that's a possibility. And they don't want to acknowledge that this type of thing happens. So they just ignore everyone around it. They don't talk to the person doing it, but they don't talk to the victims either. So there's that. Now, after everything came out and Puffy, I never did nothing in the videotape drop, then he came out, of course, with his apology video. And that's what we'll talk about now. And then we're going to open it up.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Here's my thing. All right, we're gonna start from Lynn Skin. I'm with you. Really trying not to not use French in this. We'll start from the top. Look, first up, Puff Daddy, Sean Puffy Combs, P. Diddy, the P. Diddler. He started out. He's been a mogul as far as music is concerned. He's been a part of all facets of the entertainment industry. He's done music. He's even done stage work where he has tried to perfect his craft as an actor. But as I saw him in Raisin in the Sun many moons ago, he was in the Raisin in the Sun on television. And I noted when I watched this upcoming thespian practice his craft, I said to myself, this dude can't act worth a damn. You're a terrible actor, bro. You're horrible. It's ridiculous how bad you are. It's crazy how bad you are when you're a mediocre rapper. You say the words good. You didn't write your own records, but that's okay. When it comes to acting, you don't have to write your words either. Somebody else will write your words. Somebody who is actually talented at writing words will write your words, and you get to repeat those words. But you, my friend, are terrible at delivering those words. You're horrible at it. So when I saw him do this whole, I feel so bad, I'm going to sit here and pause and give you the expression on my face like you can see the pain in my heart and I'm conflicted. I thought to myself, this is the worst acting I've ever seen. You are, again, doing the same crap that you were doing in Raisin in the Sun back in the day. You're a terrible actor. This is all bull crap. You didn't believe a word of it. I don't believe a word of it. I don't think you're sorry. I think you're sorry you got caught. I think you're sorry that the people found out that you were doing this stuff and it might have messed up some of your deals. You got sorry that people are telling you that they don't want to do business with you anymore. That's why you're sorry. You're not sorry because I noticed you didn't apologize to Cassie. I noticed you didn't say, sorry, Cassie. You're right. I was a piece of crap. I did you wrong. I'm not going to acknowledge what I did to you. I'm just going to say that I was wrong. I was in a bad place. And what the shit, sugar shoot, snacker. I'm trying not to speak French. I apologize. I'm trying not to speak French. What in the world? What in the world? What in the world? I gotta recalibrate because I was about to go ham. All right, back in it. When you come out and you say, I am looking, I was in a dark place at the time. That may be true. Maybe you were in a dark place. But that doesn't excuse your behavior. That just describes your location. If I go to a town, and while I'm standing in town in front of the store, they have a big picture window, and they have a big shiny, dookie chain, a big nice diamond necklace. It's beautiful, and I want it. And I pick up a rock, and I throw it through the window. I can't say, oh, I was in the town in front of the window. Okay, that's the location that you are in. I'm in a dark place. Okay, that's the location. That's the place that you're in. You're in a dark place. Okay, fine. But there's a lot of people who are in dark places that don't go out and do what you did. Oh, I had substance issues. I was dealing with stuff and I had problems and I had things going on. Okay, here's my question. And what I did not hear. Woo, drop some stuff. Sorry, getting excited. Drop some stuff on my desk. Here's what I didn't hear. I didn't hear you say, I sought therapy and I am still in therapy. I sought help and I'm still getting that help because that's something I needed to do. And I wanted to reassure them. And to be honest with you, matter of fact, I'm going to put that off a little bit. I'm going to put a pause. Let's put a pin in something when he talks about he's seeking help. I went and I sought help for my substance abuse issue. I sought therapy to get into a program to help me with my abuse issues, my substance abuse issues. Okay, cool. All right, that's important. If you are suffering from that kind of thing, I don't believe in throwaway people. I believe that you should seek help. You should get help. You should do the things you need to do in order to get yourself better so that you can live life to the fullest. I applaud that. Anybody who wants to get help, I applaud you realizing you've reached rock bottom and you need help to get out of the hole that you put yourself in. I applaud that. However, that's not an excuse. And one of the first things you'll learn when you deal with any type of substance abuse recovery or any type of recovery when it comes to that, no matter what it is, one of the tenets, at least to my understanding, is always it's not just seeking forgiveness, but accepting what you did wrong. It's accepting what you did wrong. And to be honest with you, regardless of any program that you may be in, this is just the simple logic of you apologizing. If I apologize, if I do something to you and I apologize for it, I have to first acknowledge what it is I did. I have to acknowledge what I did. I have to acknowledge who I did it to. I have to acknowledge the pain, discomfort, or turmoil or hurt that I caused from my actions. Then I have to take responsibility for those actions and express that. And then from there, I have to talk about what can I do to try to make you whole? What can I give you to make you feel better? It's not just, I'm sorry. That's what you do when you're dealing with small children. When you have two kids get in an argument and they start bickering back and forth and one does something to another child, you grab children, hey, break it up. Now say sorry. Sorry. That's what that is. That's what I felt like I was watching. I felt like I was watching a little kid apologize. Sorry. You don't mean it. You're not sorry that you did what you did. You just saying sorry because this is what I have to say so I don't be in trouble anymore. This is the alakazam so that you can get yourself out of trouble. The twisting of your nose like Bewitched so you can get yourself out of trouble. I'm going to say the magic words and now I'm not in trouble anymore. This is what some jackass in an office told him he had to say in order for him to get himself out of trouble or get past this tough point. The problem that you have is that nobody is buying this crack booty apology. And I'm trying to see, even I am trying to do my word. So I appreciate Lizzie B reminding you guys, please try to keep it clean in the chat. But I'm trying to on the screen. Just know the struggle is real. The struggle is real and is shared. Okay. That whole apology, there's a few points where, like I said, talking about himself, what is he going through, how much he suffered. That shows me that you're not sorry. You're not sorry for what you did to her. You're just sorry that you're in this situation, that you have to deal with this. So you're not sorry. Let's get I feel you. Foul mouth French. Yeah, I'm right there. Smurf, full of Smurf, flying chocolate. You know what I mean? I get you guys. I understand why people want to say what they want to say. But another thing, and another issue that I have is that you can't sit there and say, I realized back, because this supposedly happened back in 2009 or something like that, that, oh, I realized that I was wrong and I've been working hard to be a different person and I've been doing everything I can to try to make this right. And I'm going to be judged by the Lord. I hate when people pull the Lord into it. The Lord ain't had nothing to do with that. You made those decisions yourself. Please don't blame the Lord and don't blame the devil. Neither one of them had anything to do with what you was doing. But they always, I did all this work and I'm trying to But then she just sued you. You just got finished saying that she was full of bunk. You just got finished calling this woman a liar. You just said that the only reason she's coming after you is because she's looking for money, a big money grab. That's what you said. You didn't say, no. I take full responsibility for how I treated you. I mistreated you. I did you wrong. And I want to apologize. Anything I can do, I should have already done this. But let me go ahead and give you what you asking for. I should have already offered you this as my form of trying to give you some type of apology and something sincere. I should have given you the one thing. I can't give you time back. I can't give you that pain back. I can't take that from you. But what I can do, I'm going to do for you. If you want money and that money makes you feel better, here's the money that you asked for. I am truly sorry. That would have made sense to me, and that would have been in line with the whole apology that he tried to issue. But you don't get to say, oh, I thought about it, I sought counseling, I talked to this and I talked to that one, and what we came up with was I'm just going to sit in my corner and feel for myself and feel bad for me and the things I'm going through. Okay? That's not an apology. That is unacceptable. You should have kept that apology to yourself. And to be honest with you, I would have preferred, and this is going to sound kind of controversial, and I appreciate that. I would have preferred him not say anything than to offer that bullcrap apology. He would have been better off not saying nothing. You'd have been better off keeping that to yourself. You could have kept that craziness to yourself. And it was his David Johnson, the Lord card. Yep. That's the Lord card. Oh, I'm working with the Lord and I'm going to be judged on Judgment Day. Nobody can judge me. Only God can judge me. And all that craziness. No. That's not what the Bible say. The Bible don't say only he can judge you. That's only he can condemn you to the place of place with no name. But give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and give unto the Lord what is the Lord. And when you're here, you deal with man's law. Sorry. You have to. You are beholden to the people, to your neighbors and the people around you. There's a few points that I want to go through, but I want to give everybody, an opportunity. Oh, the last thing I wanted to touch on, like I said, when we talk about, the whole thing with his temperament, his personality, it occurred to me when this all first started, and I'll end on this point. Then I'll open it up for the floor for a little bit. I'll end on this point. When this first happened, I said to myself, had this same situation occurred 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would have swept this under the rug. This might have been something they talked about. He would have did like the apology tour. Maybe he would have did like a couple classes or something. Maybe like a movie, or he would have sponsored something, or he'd have came out with a girl group. 2016. Okay, thank you, Daisy Reyes. Maybe he would have he came out with some kind of like group or something, like he came out with another all-girl group. Then heard he was doing them wrong too, but he would have came out with an all-girl group and said, you know, I'm all about the ladies, I'm all about women empowerment, the can't stop, won't stop, bad boy forever. And there's a possibility that everybody would have just went along with it. Oh, he's a genius. And that's part of the reason, that's part of the protection that gave him the temerity to think that he could do what he did, allegedly, to these folks, and nobody is supposed to say anything. The fact that he came out with that bullcrap apology tells me that he thinks he's above it. The apology, you can tell, like, and this is just my personal thing. My personal thing is, you can tell how much somebody is really affected by a thing, even if they don't mean the apology. Even, I'm taking it from the perspective, even if they don't mean the apology, you can tell how much the incident affected them by how much they put into the bullcrap apology. Even the bullcrap apology, not the sincere, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this to you, I need to do something to make it better. You know, not that real apology. I'm talking about the bullcrap, whatever. I'm sorry, whatever happened. I'm sorry. Whatever. That apology, you can tell how much it affected them and how scared you are. Because, like, for instance, when somebody do something wrong and the police come get you, because everybody a thug, everybody know you a thug up until the time the police show up. When the cops get there and they pull out them magic bracelets and they talk about putting you in one of them one of them 4x6 time machines that just wicks your time off you, and all of a sudden you get out and you like, you know what I mean? You like Rip Van Winkle, you've been asleep for like 15 years because you've been down for 15 years. You get out and you just found out they invented teleporting and cars now fly. Like, you know what I mean? When you get out of jail, they put you in that time machine. When they come out, they threaten you with that shit. All of a sudden, everybody's apologetic. Everybody's sorry. Nobody had nothing to do with nothing. And oh, ain't you Killer Kim? No, not me. I'm nice guy Nancy. You know what I mean? I'm nice guy Nance. Oh, no. I'm a good person. Where you coming from? You know, 5 minutes ago before the cop showed up, I'm thugging all day. I thug till the sun come up, till the sun go down. I'll be thugging and cripping. And then when the cops show up, all of a sudden, what were you doing? Oh, were you thugging? No, I wasn't thugging. I was delivering cookies to orphans. That's what I do. Hey, Tiny Tim. You know what I mean? And when you get them guys, they be in jail, them hardcore killers, when they get in jail and they facing that big time, you ever see how apologetic they are? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to the family. I'm sorry to the people. I just want to be home. I want to apologize to everybody. Tears flowing. This dude couldn't squeeze out one damn tear because he don't care. And that's my thought on it. I don't think that he cares. And I think the reason he doesn't care is because he's gotten away with it for so long. He's not afraid that he's actually going to be impacted by what he's accused of and what allegedly these people are saying he did. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat. And again, connected to the link, I'm going to put the rules in there as well. So we can, I know you got the rules when you click on the link. Just for, maybe I can't. Maybe it won't let me do it. Okay. I'm going to just, first time, guys. So I am going to drop that here. And I would just ask us to read the rules once again, I would simply ask that if you guys are hitting that thing, make sure you hit the like button, the thumbs up, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Just real quick, get ready to give you a take. I'm excited to give everybody a chance to get on and all that. And I want to try to do it in the future, but if it goes too crazy, I won't be able to do it in the future. But the simple rules are as follows. They're easy rules. Follow the YouTube guidelines and policies, procedures. You know what they are. If you don't, you can always go back to YouTube and check the user guidelines. You know, no bullying, no craziness, all that. I mean, it's simple, relatively simple. Let's be respectful of one another. Don't say anything to people or about people that you wouldn't say to their face. If you were sitting in a room with them and they were in reaching distance of you, would you say this thing? And that's what you would ask yourself. Also, I would ask that we don't use any French. Don't want to get bilingual. In other words, no cussing. We're going to treat it like kind of like it's daytime TV. Even I'm curving myself. All right, and I am completely bilingual, creatively so. So this is and just keep in mind too that this is a conversation, not a debate. What do I mean by that? That means that like don't come in hot. Like there's no need to come in hot. We're sharing ideas. Give your perspective. Even if I disagree with your perspective, we're just going to exchange ideas. We're going to listen to one another. We're going to talk to each other, and we're going to have a conversation, not a debate. So you can put your slings and arrows away. We're going to have fun with it. Let's see. I'll drop the link in the chat, which I've done. I'll drop it again in a moment because nobody has logged in yet. But I will ask that you guys just have your camera on, so check your sound and be ready. So when I click on you, you can come in and we can have a good time, little conversation. You try to, just with the commentary, we'll play it by ear, but just be mindful that I want to try to get as many people as possible as people are logging in. Please be patient and understand that everyone may not get on today, but that doesn't mean you can't try to get on again later. All right. So Kathy Ferran. It's okay, James. We try to be French free. I know, right? It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard out here. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best. All right, let me just click that out. All right. Hey, Ivana, how you doing? Oh, see R&R. See that, and that's the thing. Like I was fired for speaking up, and that's one of the things. Like I was talking about people think R&R. When you're coming in and you plan on doing like these I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell my boss that this is what's going on, this person is mistreating me or whatever the case may be. Why you don't do it, you might feel like things might happen to you. All right, I see Emily in the box. I don't see your face, Emily. If you want to just flash your face to me so I can see that you're actually a person, and then I can bring you up. Emily. A little bit lower. Okay, I see you. Are you ready? Emily in the house. What's going on? Oh, let me click that in. Hello, Emily. Are you muted, Emily? I can't hear you. Hello? Uh-oh. Emily, my first guess will not unmute yourself. I don't have you muted. You have yourself muted. Emily looks maybe a little shy. Everybody saying hi, Emily. Oh, she might be adjusting her. Maybe she's adjusting her sound. Oh, Art, does it sound sincere to you? Absolutely not. Does this apology sound sincere to me? No. No. You know what I mean? No. You can come back anytime you want, Emily. No, I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was sincere with that apology because there's too many ways. And if he wanted to, the thing is that Puffy, he doesn't have to do what normal people would have to do, which is hire somebody or try to come up with your best words yourself. He could hire somebody. He could hire the best of the best to sit down and write him a statement if that's what he wanted to do. And the part of the problem that he has is that I think that his statement wouldn't ring true because it's not genuine. He's not apologizing because he's sorry. He's apologizing because this is what the what most of the people say you have to do. You have to apologize. So he pretends like he apologized. Butterfly said, "Butterfly." Okay, I got fired for finding a mistaken how they paid people, not in the company's favor. Oh wow. I got fired for finding a mistake in how they paid people and not in the company's favor. Yeah. Yeah, give me look. And then when it happens, they just pretend like, you're the crazy one. And that's one of the things, like I said. So I always want to keep in mind that as we talk about, oh hey mommy, I'm Emily. Oh, you could come on back. Or unless your mic doesn't work. Which I get it, because sometimes my mic doesn't work either. And I'll be on the show talking to myself. And they'll be like, James, we can't hear you. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the things that we kind of struggle with. Okay, I see you, Yvonne. I got you. Um, like that's one of the things that is you sit there and you try to consider how you move forward and how you address these issues. That's one of the things that kind of pops up all the time. Is that there's no, book or guideline on how you leave these situations. How do you exit these situations? What's the appropriate way to do it? How long do you stay? When do you go? How much do you forgive? How much do you not forgive? Do you have a um, uh, zero tolerance policy? When something happens, and you like, that's it. First time, you done. Thank you for coming out. See you later. Bye. Other people, they need that recurring. They want to see that recidivism. They want to see that constant, over and over again. It happens. So, oh, well, you just, Emily, when you come in, if you just hit the microphone, it'll ask you to check while you're in the studio, and it'll let you activate your mic. And then once you do that, we should be able to hear you. I'm gonna put the. This is fun. This was be honest with you guys, it was a little daunting, opening it up just because like I did get some warnings from some folks who are like, if you trust them, they can mess your stuff up. But we have a good group here, so I'm willing to allow folks to come in. So yeah, Emily, if you come back into the studio, I can help you out. All right. That's the link I just dropped is the link to get into the studio. If you guys want to come onto the studio, that'll be awesome. I'll keep it open for a little bit longer. Butterfly, no problem. No problem. I like your name. It's cool. And that's exactly right, Ruth Carroll. Like, look what happened when she tried to walk away. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, when she tried to leave, like the crazy part is she did exactly what most of the people were watching. Why? The people who will sit there and defend them, because believe it or not, and here's the craziest part of the whole thing: there are people there are people who in his Instagram today are typing, Puff Daddy, we got your back, Puffy. You know it was a long time ago. You are a different person. How do you know? How do you know? If he's not your friend, how do you know he's a different damn person? One, two. Look, you have to go through some changes. You have to go through some things in order for you to change. You have to go through some things in order for you to fundamentally change the person that you are. It's not enough for you just to wake up one day and decide that you're going to be different. We can attribute that to any part of or any facet of life. We can attribute that to any facet of life. Tracy, I got you. That you can attribute that to any facet of life. And what I mean by that is, if you say, I want to lose weight, right? It's not enough for you just to wake up one day and be like, yeah, I'm going to shed 20 pounds. I'm going to drop 100 pounds. I'm going to drop a hundo. I'm going to drop 150, a bill and a quarter. I'm dropping 125 pounds tomorrow. I'm going to start my weight loss journey. No, something has to happen, especially when you have that much of a significant change that you have to make. Something has to happen. Usually it's a doctor's appointment. Doctor be like, look, unless you're trying to be out, you got to drop too much. You got to start shedding some pounds, player. You know what I mean? Okay, I got to shed 150 pounds, whatever. Something has to happen. Something significant has to happen for you to feel like you've hit that rock bottom part where you decide to make a choice or make a difference in your life, a change in your life. Something, has shook you in order to change. To be honest with you, I don't think that this incident and the embarrassment around this incident is enough to change who he is. It may kind of put a stutter in his step, but it's not going to change his path or change his journey or change his walk. It's not going to do that. It's going to put a stutter in it. It'll make him, I guess I should change. I guess I got to do something to try to be different. But that's only going to last temporarily. You have to want to change for you. And the change that you have to implement for yourself has to go beyond just you losing a couple of sponsorships, maybe experiencing some embarrassment, and lose a couple brand deals. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Let's see. Melissa Joyner, he called her a liar on his Instagram, claimed that he never did anything he has been accused of. The video comes out and he apologized. Exactly right. That's what I was saying earlier. He first thing, she's a damn lie. How's she gonna come at me like that? That's ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, Tracy, it's a moderator message. Has no cursing. Yeah, Tracy. Just so you know, I'll put that in there. Just to clarify your question. I couldn't find a previous question. Here it was. Respectfully curious, is it a YouTube requirement or James the no cursing? To my understanding, I just want to kind of rein it in a little bit, just because for a couple reasons. One, I want to be respectful of the fact that we're kind of going a little earlier than we normally go. This isn't my nighttime show where we're on at like 10 o'clock, adults only, but we're not doing an adult only show. So there might be some younger folks in the room at this time. Two, with regard to the YouTube policy, it's not necessarily YouTube policy that there is no cursing, but YouTube can take offense to certain language and in certain ways. So I have to be a little more mindful of how things are presented and how things work. If you have like if there's no guidelines, no guardrails, then we'll be off the road in a minute. Especially, and to be honest with you, I'm even trying to hold myself to that as well. because I know how I get, and that's where I'm kind of basing my frame of reference. Because I'll go buck wild, like I'll go crazy. The next thing you know, I'll be off this platform, and I'll be on what is it, or a Rumble or whatever, where YouTubers who've been discarded go to scream into the void. So that's why I kind of put that into place. Uh, let's see, Boo, I wanted to talk, and we hopefully next time. Sorry, no, it's no worries, no worries. That was Emily. She was trying to jump on, but yeah, all you guys have to do is I won't even hold you with the gotta have a camera on for the live, but I just want to see you before you get on. So you'll be in the back studio. Nobody will be able to see you. Only I can see you. And when I call you up, it'll be me, you, and everybody else. It'll be hot, but it's just a matter of you just have to click your this little microphone at the bottom that says mute. You just have to click the mute button, or if you want to stop cam, you can do that. All right. I'll give it a few more minutes and then I will let you guys go because I won't hold you. Where's that? Oh, yeah, she sent me a message. Oh man. I gotta figure out how to get my chat so I can get my privates up. Oh wow. Melissa Joyner, people are saying there are two more videos coming out that are much worse than the one that was released. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not surprised. How about that? Because like I said, I don't think that in my experience, thank you, Melissa. In my experience, when people are like this, there's a couple crimes that people commit that it's not a one-off crime. It's not a crime that people, oh, you just one timed it. This is the first time you ever did it. You would never do that. This is in you. This is who you are. Okay, this is one of those incidences that, in my opinion, when you get caught up with something like this is just something you do. And this is why I always I've always taken a position that, especially in my own relationships, that I don't do any type of physical stuff, because please understand, like there's a flip side to it too. Even as a guy, like I'm a big guy. Like I know you can't tell because it's little screen and stuff. Especially depending on what you're watching on. You watch it on your phone, I'll probably look like I'm about 2 inches tall. But the I'm 6'6", 6'7", right? About 6'7", depending on what doctor's office I'm staying in. I'm 6'7", right? I'm a big guy, right? I go to the gym and like I'm stronger than a good 95% of the gym in most cases. Like 95, especially the gym I go to, easily top, one of the stronger people in the gym. And humble brag, I guess. But with that being said, I don't do if I was when I was a younger guy, if I was dating a woman and she was 5 foot tall, 5 feet, even 5 feet, 100 pounds, I wouldn't do, oh, I got mad so I thought I could punch you because I was, you so big you could take the hell with that. No, we don't. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. Because in my opinion, when you get you get that in your mind. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just out of control. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, fine. I take you back and I forgive you. Then next time you get mad, guess what you're gonna do to me? You gonna hit me again, or you gonna worse? Because as big as I am, I'm not Superman. You can pick stuff up. And you don't think that you're going to do enough damage with your hands. You pick something up and you catch me wrong with that, and it's lights out. It's over, right? You can hurt people. So no, I don't even play around with that. So you do it once. To me, if you do it once, you've already broken that seal. Like the next time you sad and you apologize. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I would never do it again. I feel so bad that it happened, etc., etc., etc. The problem is that when you get frustrated again, you're not going to remember how bad you felt that first time you did it. You're not going to remember that you apologized and you said you was never going to do it again, like you did that last time. This time, when you mad, you trying to express yourself and you clearly don't have the words, or you don't think that your words have the gravitas to affect me the way you want them to affect me. So you're trying to do something extra to get me to feel something different. In which case, you're going to do what you're going to do. And I don't have time for that stuff. And again, I'm usually trying to be very careful with my words. See, Tracy, even I'm doing it. Not picking on you, Tracy, but you get it. But you understand what I mean? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't put my hands on nobody else, and I don't want them putting their hands on me. Period. So I am one of those people, like, first time, we done. First time, it's not even first time you do something to me. First time I even feel like you're gonna do something to me, we're done, data. It's over. Right? Vicky, no offense, I totally thought you were about 5'6". Maybe it's just because you seem so nice. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I'm not offended at all. Like I said, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a big dude, but I'm a big dude. I just want to put it in perspective. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's okay. Like, I'm not especially as a bigger guy, because I know I'm gonna sit here and play that game like we could do this to each other. I'm gonna let you do it because you're smaller than me. But the second it starts getting out of hand, and I go to try to stop you or keep you from hurting me, then when the police show up and the whole house is tore up, guess who's going to jail? Okay, I know that's the way it goes. That's why I would tell any guy in that situation, any bigger person in that situation, you're the one that's gonna get it. When the popos show up, and they're gonna look at you, oh, Mr. 6'7", and they're gonna look at your little 5-foot girlfriend, 100 pounds. They don't know that she clawing your ass up like a pardon my friend. She clawing you up like a bear cat, right? She on pull your, you know what I mean, ripping your clothes off your back. They don't know she on you like a little one of them little monkeys, like she crawl up and down your back, up one side, down the other. They don't know that she's insane. They just see you and you going. You going for the ride. Because clearly she would never look at you. Look at her. Come on now. Nope. Nope. We're not playing that game either. So that's also something you have to put into consideration. Not to mention, like with the letter that I read earlier, there's also the point where you just have to value yourself. Like I don't want to put myself in a situation where I can't trust the people I'm with. And that's whether it's cheating, whether it's affairs, whether it's talking to people, whether it's this particular issue, my safety, my personal physical safety, my emotional safety. If I can't trust you, I don't want to be around you. If I have to second guess and be curious as to whether you'll do the right thing by me, I don't want to have you in my situation at all. So this is a weird place. Ty, I think the feds released the video to get others to come forward and let them know they have information. Yeah, I mean that's possible, and I think that's I think that's a good point. Like sometimes the feds do act like that. I mean, they put together cases how they put together cases. You know, they released from what, and not to put words in the Ty's mouth, but from that perspective, if you run down a rabbit hole with that, if they release this tape and they show that we have evidence that this is what's going on, then that, like she said, that encourages more people to come forward and say, okay, well, if I came forward and I'm by myself, because a lot of times these guys or these gals or these folks will have a list of people that they've done this to, and some of those people may feel like they're the only ones. And if I come forward, nobody's ever going to believe that this happened to me. Nobody's ever going to believe that the way he presents himself in the public and in a public sphere, whether at work or in public or at church, especially in church, he's always here. He's here for the council, parish council. He's on the church board. He's a deacon. he's in the choir. He does the youth choir. He does the children. He does Bible studies. And this dude is home going bananas in his house, terrorizing everybody. But the family is afraid to come forward and say, the person that you guys have put so much trust in, the person that you guys have relied on to deal with other people's children and other people's issues, is the person who is tormenting me and my family. And it causes people to question their own perspective. And that's one of the things that when I talked about story time earlier with the person that I knew, that's one of the things that I had to deal with. It wasn't like a long drawn out thing, but in a very short time from the time I heard, that's one of the emotions I dealt with, was that, I thought that this guy was one way. And then I found out this dude is a horrible person. And then what's wrong with me? Because that is one of the questions that you kind of cycle through, like as you are confronted with somebody who has fooled you or tricked you. What's wrong with me? How come I didn't pick up on this? And I'm experiencing that as a person who is finding out about this bad situation and this bad relationship. I can only imagine how the person, this young lady that I knew, who is being victimized by this dude, how she felt. Because that will be one of the questions or one of the insecurities that she could have in that situation. I should have been able to pick up that he was this type of person. I should have recognized what type of person I was dealing with. Things that are happening isn't just on him, it's on me too, because I must be participating in it because I should have seen it. I should have known. And if I'm not, and maybe I didn't see it because he's not as bad as I think he is. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. And that's where some of the rationalization for some of these behaviors come in. You just look at it and say, well, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe I am blowing it out of proportion, as somebody had said earlier, with family members who will call you and tell you that you shouldn't tell on them, his mom calling you up or her mom calling you up, mom and dad calling you up. Don't call the police on my child. Please, they're not like that. That's not who they are as a person. And my retort to that always is, well, for somebody who isn't that person, they seem to act like that kind of person. They keep doing all the things that those people do. Okay? At what point do we start saying that this is who they are? And this is one of the things that I wanted to hear when we talk about the apology. This is one of the things that I wanted to hear in that apology. You have to take ownership of who you are in this situation. In this situation, you're the bad guy. In this situation, you are the domestic maneuver. Okay, I'll say it that way because they will bang me for that, the language. But you are that domestic person, the DV person. You are that person. You have to own it. And then you can start seeking help. Then you can start seeking therapy. Then you can start seeking counseling. And then you can start seeking and asking for people's forgiveness and issuing that apology. But until you do that, your apology, your words of condolences, your words and your asking for forgiveness will all go unanswered and will all go unheard. All right, Yvonne, I'll see you later. She has to go. And now I think that's a good place for us to end it. Ruth Carroll said, I'll end it there. Well, I'll give you two. So, Flying Chancla, life is too short to be messing with people who disturb your peace like that. This is very true. Life is way too short for you to sit there and be suffering with somebody who don't, especially people who don't deserve your time, energy, and effort. Not everybody deserves your time, energy, and effort. Not everybody deserves the best of you. And to be honest with you, when people are spending time with you, you are unique unto yourself. And people should be deserving of your time and attention. And if they don't deserve your time and attention, don't waste your time and attention and never waste your time and attention. Even talking about that point, don't ever waste your time and attention trying to change somebody, trying to wait for somebody to change. Because sometimes the change they need is a change in the relationship status. They need to change their relationship status. Married, single. Together, single. They need to be by themselves a little while so they can figure out themselves and find themselves. Spicy Ritas. Okay, I like that hairstyle. That's cool. My sister and I were brought up boxing. My sister, though, she's crazy. Even if she doesn't win, she's gonna put a hurt on someone like the Diddler. Put a hurt on somebody like the Diddler. I can feel that. I used to say that too. Like, yeah, I might not win it, but we can take you in the hospital, emergency room. Part two. The ER madness. Spicy Ritas. Thank you, Spicy. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't no shame in my game. One of the things I did, my daughter was coming up. Yeah, I taught her to box, taught her boxing and other things. Like I'm not gonna run the list, but yeah, no, that was one of the things I wanted to do. Yeah, there was all right, Kathy. Yeah, there's oh there you go. Big guys are nice guys. I birthed one. There you go, Groove Carol. That's the thing. Like sometimes when you're a bigger person, especially if you're not a tyrant, people will assume the only struggle that I really ever had was uh it's the reverse bully. And I'll end on that just with a little story time. Story time. Being a bigger guy. Um, Sometimes you experience things because people think that they can take advantage of you because of your physical stature. People look at smaller people, they say, "Oh, I can take advantage of them because that's an easy win," right? And they always assume, especially when you deal with a smaller person, that if you're a bigger person, that you'll never have any issues or problems with anybody. The problem is that if you're a bigger person and you don't exert yourself on the other people, then people will assume that you are an easy win. And it's more impressive that they can pick on you and, take you down. It's more impressive to the crowd if they can knock down a 6'7" guy, you know. So you find yourself getting into more scrapes, or at least in my experience, I found myself getting into more scrapes because I didn't, impress upon people. Like I was always one of those people that I can't stand a bully. I never liked bullies, and I damn sure wasn't going to be a bully, right? And so I would even with because I am a bigger guy, I recognize that I'm a bigger person. Like I'm very conscious of even like my proximity to people. Like I don't walk up on folks, I don't tower over people, that kind of thing. I'm very aware of it. I've always been that way. And sometimes people think they misread the situation. They think because you don't start none that you're not about it. You know what I mean? And that's how you get experience. Just leave it there. So with that being said, all I would say is we close this out talking about accusations that surround uh, Puffy, whether it's people like Angela Dean from 90 Day Fiance, who we talked about in the beginning, or whether it's somebody like the young lady who has suffered through these types of experiences because of the relationship that she's involved with. We always have to keep in mind that you are a valuable person, you are worthwhile. And if you find yourself in a tough situation where you feel like you feel like things are wrong, don't ever feel like you have to stay in a situation that you owe it to somebody to wait for something to happen to you before you start making decisions to protect yourself. You don't have to wait for them to go to the point of no return where you're sitting in the ER before you say to yourself, you know what, maybe I should get out of here. If they start talking to you aggressively, they start yelling at you, they start hollering at you, especially if they start putting their hands on you where they're pushing, shoving, pulling, tugging, those kind of things, then those are your indications, those are your invitations to maybe get out of that situation. If you find yourself in a position where you can't leave or you can't depart, or maybe it's not good for you to go at that time, and you stay there, please recognize that there are organizations, there are facilities, and there are places you can go to get the help that you need. And I would encourage you to get that help, to seek those, utilize those resources. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in you saying to somebody, I got myself into a situation, or I'm in this situation with this person who's bonkers, and I need to get out, and I need help to get out. There's no shame in that. Zero, zero shame in that. And I'm not judging you if you stayed in there however long you stayed. I'm not judging you for staying because I don't know why you did what you did and why you made the choices you made. And I would just say there is help. You should get help. And then once you get out, continue. And this is the part that I really rarely hear people say this next part, but I will say it. When you get out, you get help to get, especially if you get help to get out and you get out of this situation, get help afterwards. Get help. So you, if it's just you sitting down having a conversation and talking with somebody so that you can get past, so that you can shore up what you already have. If you already trust yourself, you already secure yourself, you already know what you want, you already value yourself and all that good stuff and all those things, and that's all there, and you don't feel like you lost anything, just talk about the experience so that you can get that off your chest so that you can move on. But if you need deeper counseling, help, therapy, etc., please take the opportunity to get that. There's no shame in that, and you should never be embarrassed because something has happened to you. And because, like I said, no matter what you do, it's not your fault. You can't take responsibility for somebody doing something to you. Okay, you can. Oh, I should have left earlier. That's all fine and good. That dude or that young lady should have put their hands on you. That's what it comes down to. So if something happens to you, get the help you need to get out, and then get the help you need in order for you to get past that situation, and so that you can open up an opportunity where you can make different decisions in the future, and that you can find happiness for yourself. I wish the best for everybody. I wish the best for Cassie. I wish the best, to be honest with you. I wish the best for Puppy, but Puppy gonna have to come. He's gonna have to find that moment where he comes and grounds himself in reality, so that he can recognize what he's done, the pain that he's caused, where he is mentally and psychologically, so that he can get the help that he needs, so that he can be a better person. Not for Cassie, not for me, not so that he can get a better brand deal, just so that he can be a better person for himself. Okay? Because that's what's needed. Tales of two spreads that I need to put some Al Green in there. I agree with you. I love Al Green. Yeah, but thank you guys for coming out. Hopefully, as I do these chats moving forward, more people will join in. I know Mommy, aka Emily, tried to step in there for a minute. Things didn't work out. I appreciate you. Maybe hopefully next time we can get you up. All right. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. Thank you guys. Before I go, I appreciate you guys for coming in, hanging out, being mindful of the rules. I appreciate the mods who come in. Lizzie B holding down for me. I didn't see Rochelle J in. And I know J Baby, she had some things to do today. J Baby is my baby is leaving for the dash. But yeah. I appreciate you, Lizzie B, holding everything down for me. But thank you guys. If you guys have any questions, you have any suggestions as far as topics, or you want to get in touch with me, next week I will be doing maybe next week or later this week. I'm going to do a Thursday show as well. But when I do that, it will be on. It'll be on the thing. It's either going to be the trad wife, the modern woman, or the red pill. I know I want to cover one of those topics. But when I do, if you guys have any insights into that, hit me up at MyTakeOnRealityQuestions@gmail.com. and we could talk about it. If you have experience with anything that I talk about on the show, one of the topics I bring up, and you maybe want to come in and do like be a panelist or whatever, just hit me up on that, and we can try to organize it beforehand. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions for any future shows, my take on reality questions at gmail.com, and we'll get it together. All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. That's it for me. I'm James. That's my take. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.